hopefully trying to get started soon, but we are oh, Mr. Gregory's here. We have our quorum. All right, the City of Castle Hills City Council will convene into a special meeting on August 28th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers located at 209 Lemonwood Drive, Castle Hills, Texas. I'm going to call the Castle Hills Special Council meeting to order and determine if a quorum is present. Quorum is present. We're going to conduct a public hearing on the proposed 2019 tax rate of 0.501345 per $100 of taxable valuation. Mr. Rapley?
Mayor, this is the first of our required tax rate hearings today. If you'd move forward with opening the public hearing, and then we can make it, after that, we can close it out and call for when the second tax hearing will be as well.
Thank you, sir. Okay, it is 6:31. We're going to open the public hearing. Do we have anybody signed up? Does anybody want to speak? Okay. In that case, okay, well, I will let Ms. No, there's nobody there. It's 6:32. We will now close the public hearing. Item number 2, discussion on the city manager's proposed fiscal year 2020 budget. Mr. Rapley.
And Mayor, before the last item, obviously, our second tax rate hearing, just a note.
Mayor, if you could announce the fact that when the second public hearing is and when the council will act to adopt the proposed tax rate.
Okay. Let's see, the second public hearing on the proposed 2019 tax rate will be held at City Hall at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. The City Council will vote to adopt a 2019 tax rate at its meeting here at City Hall at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. Mr. Rapley.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, ideally, this was for having the first tax hearing, but I did add the item as far as a discussion on the city manager's proposed fiscal year 2020 budget. I know that council has had a week since in possession and review of the proposed budget that we reviewed and presented last week, and so I wanted to find out if there's any more input that council might have as we continue to develop towards adoption of this budget. If necessary, if any council members would like, I can meet one-on-one to discuss any input they might have as a part of this proposed budget. But as part of this item, I just wanted to make sure if anybody had any other input I need to evaluate in moving forward to adoption. I know Councilman Gregory was not here last week, so he may have some things since he wasn't present. So this is why I put this item on here.
Thank you, Mr. Rapley. We're going to start with Mr. McCormick, and we will work our way down and see if anybody has any input. Mr. McCormick?
I don't have any additions.
Thank you. Mr. Sanderson?
Nothing at this time.
Ms. McLinn?
I believe Mr. Rapley has all of my requests from the last meeting.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gregory?
I've been looking it over, and I'm going to get with Mr. Rapley later on this week on specific things I want to discuss with him.
Okay. If that's the case, I believe that is it. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Yes, sir.
Just a point of reference, I'm trying to work to pull up the budget calendar real quick as a reminder. That our first reading on the budget, and only reading, will be on September 17th, the special city council meeting at 6:30.
Okay.
And public hearing. Thank you, Mark.
Mr. Gregory? You look pensive.
I'll get this clear with Mr. Rapley.
Okay,
And again, on the regular September 10th meeting, when we have the second public hearing for the tax rate, we will also have an item for further discussion on the development of this budget.
okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Gregory.
But it is very likely, either by next year at this time or 2 years from now, we could be looking at negative interest rates. And the council and the city manager better start putting in mind what we're going to do, because it's going to cut out a lot of money that's coming into the city, and we may have a deflationary situation underhand. And we better decide what we're going to do, or at least be thinking what we're going to do with salaries and benefits if it's a deflationary situation and the city is looking at negative interest rates. There is, I mean, that's a real possibility. I'd say at least 30 to 40% possibility we could have negative interest rates, meaning deflation also. So just something to put in your mind as we're putting all these numbers out. We have to live with these 2 years from now and a year from now also. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rapley?
Yes, sir, and we'll be working with Councilman Gregory as treasurer on that matter. I think he's also referring to our line item that has grown as far as interest because of our funds have grown. But as you know, we're moving forward with other capital projects. We'll see a decrease in that. So thus, the interest may fall. And then, of course, as Mr. Gregory mentioned, the possible side of the economic factor.
Got it. Okay, let's try this one more time. Do we have a motion to adjourn? First by Mr. Gregory,
Second.
second by Mr. McCormick, all in favor? Unanimous. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you all so much for being here.